Welcome back, everybody. Time for some more Victory at Sea Pacific. I don't know that we're going to finish the war this turn, but I think we're going to get awfully close, and we're definitely going to be pushing toward victory. So historically, the U.S., I was kind of reading up on the strategy. The U.S. didn't necessarily take all of this back. It really kind of was a deep thrust up through into here. So it's not the worst idea in the world that we go after Iwo Jima next if we can. But I'm just going to keep on pumping out those carriers as much as I can until we get so many carriers everywhere that we just are unstoppable. So we'll see how this works out. We're going to kind of push this as far as we can. It is late June 1943. All right, a couple of just housekeeping things we want to take care of right now. We've got a couple of ships to get named, and this one we're going to name in honor of one of the heroes of the Pacific Theater, and that was John Barcelona. I want to make sure I get that spelled right. But if you've seen the film series, The Pacific, that was made, kind of a sequel to Band of Brothers, you know John Barcelona's story. He was a Medal of Honor winner. He was a Marine, great hero of the war. Lost his life later on in the war. So we're going to rename the USS Essex in honor of John Barcelona. All right, and Zach Mills requested a battleship to be named in his honor. So the USS Mills it is, in this Colorado-class battleship. Old Mary, because that used to be the Maryland, so I don't think I can change the nickname on it. But you can see here, I think some of the stats aren't quite right, but you can see they've sunk a battleship, destroyed a structure, sunk a cruiser. I think somewhere along the line that information got reset. Now it's got 9 destroyers sunk as well. So I remember last episode kind of looking over those stats and thinking some of them couldn't possibly be right. But all right, let's go ahead and dive in back to the action. We're going to go ahead and start pressing forward. We've got a carrier group right here outside Wake. And I think between these carrier groups here and one... we've actually got 2 carrier groups here at Wake Island. I think we could pursue these guys and take them out. So what we're sending are actually the Saratoga Task Force has at least one light cruiser carrier there. So we've got a total of 7 fleet carriers and 1 escort carrier headed toward these 4. I think that ought to be enough to get the job done. I'm also in the meantime going to go ahead and take Carrier Group C out of port. So that they can attack these cargo ships there and up here as well. Alright, the force I was waiting on over at Mare Island, they've completed their destroyers now. Let me see if they're still working on anything else here, because I might want to wait a little bit longer. Okay, we've got 2 more carriers being built. What we'll do is we'll queue up a few more escorts for those carriers, because we've got another 2 Essex class carriers coming out there. Let's get some Clevelands for them, maybe 2 of them, and then a couple of destroyers as well, just so I have something to go against the subs. Those are still light cruisers. We need little ships. Here we go, Fletcher class destroyers. Perfect. So we'll queue up 2 of those. That'll be our next task force that'll be coming out of there. But that means that Task Force 66 is ready to go. We'll rename them once they get out here, but let's go ahead and get them shipped out to Wake Island. That's 2 more, the Wasp and the Hancock, that'll be headed into combat. Alright, we haven't quite located their exact position, but I do see a fighter right here, so I have to think they're probably somewhere right up here, which would be due east of, well, maybe that's not due east. This map's kind of turned a little bit, so, but east as far as our orientation goes of Iwo Jima. So I'm trying to get all of these carrier groups to converge at the same time so we can try to hit them all at once so they don't have time to fight off one group and then the other. All right, we found them. They're a little bit closer to carrier group A and D than they are to Saratoga and group E, so let's start headed this way, and when I feel like we're kind of evenly distributed and we can launch everything all at once, we'll go ahead and do that. Although there might be something to be said for coming at them from different places, so you know what? Let's go ahead and launch. Yes. Because then what we'll do is he's going to have to make a choice. If he starts sending his fighters this way, then we have him coming from here too. There's no way he's going to be able to handle all of this. That's 8 carriers worth of planes coming his way. Oh, there's another task force somewhere, unless these guys were headed that way and turned. But it looks like they're coming from another task force somewhere. I've still got 2 carrier task forces down here. In fact, there's Group B right there, and we're going to take out these 5 cargo ships real quick. Oh yeah, there's definitely another carrier group over here. So let's go ahead and fire these guys up. There's another group of cargo ships there, but let's go ahead and get carrier group C from Guam headed north to try and figure out that other one, and we'll take carrier group B and do the same. Man, I didn't even see that this first group had already gone in. These dive bombers and torpedo bombers, they already took out one of the carriers. So this is kind of interesting, and now we've got fighters going out to deal with these guys, so that's good. A lot of his fighters are coming back in, so I don't think they're going to be able to deal with all of these dive bombers and torpedo bombers coming in. So let's go ahead and take a look at the combat view. Okay, here we go. So we're going to follow these hell divers as they go in. It looks like his fleet's actually... Oh no, it's not the fleet. Those are Zeros coming in. Alright, they're going to probably deal with some of these guys, but these hell divers should be able to hold their own, I think, against some of these Zeros. It just might mean that they don't get at the fleet exactly how I'd want them to. Yeah, it looks like these Zeros are actually returning. I think they were there from intercepting my earlier groups that went in. So, alright, let's go ahead and watch and see what happens here, I guess. Alright, so we'll speed this along a little bit here while they intercept and deal with some of these. We'll follow up this group behind here. So they may not... no, they're going to get through. We'll go back up to this group up ahead. I think they're definitely going to get their bombs off. Now, whether or not they score any kills will be another story. Because they always seem to do better when I don't watch them like this. Now we're starting to get the fleet into view. So let's go ahead and get a look down on the ground. We've got a Yamashiro battleship, a couple of those. The cruisers, I don't see the carriers yet. They're probably a little further. Oh, there's one of them right there. It says Zuikaku. Yeah, he does like to reuse the names, so we've sunk quite a few of these already. Oh, we just lost them again. I don't know who these guys are going to come in at, but we'll follow them and see. Alright, we're going to get quite a few of these guys in here, so now we can start to see he's got them circled. So he's got his capital ships in the center. Shokaku, you got this Zuikaku that's already been damaged but not sunk. It's going to be nighttime when we come in, so might not score a lot of hits here. Let's go ahead and zoom out so we can see a little more of what's happening. Okay, here they come in. What are we going for? An escort ship? Shoka. Alright, we just leveled that destroyer. I don't know who these guys are going for, but they're in kind of low. Definitely doesn't look like an ideal dive bombing situation, that's for sure. It won't let me double click on any of them. There we go. Who are we going for here, guys? Are they turned around and already flying out? I guess so. Alright, we're going for the battleship. And we missed everything. And they missed again. Oh, there's a hit. There's a couple of hits. Not enough to sink them. Looks like we didn't do a whole lot, but that's okay. We're off to a good start. Alright, now we're looking at the kind of strategic view here. It's a big-time fighter battle now with carrier group D and A. We're gonna get these guys going as best we can to find this other carrier group that I know is up there somewhere. but it's going to take a while for them to get into position. In the meantime, who are these guys? Oh, these are from Carrier Group A. They're just returning. Alright, so what has he got left? 2 battleships, 3 carriers, a couple of light cruisers. We took out 1 destroyer. We'll get these guys landed, and we'll see what we've got left to go back out with. Alright, let's just make sure he doesn't send anything my way as far as threats to my carriers. Okay, 18 more dive bombers going in. Let's see if they take anything out. 17, 2, 2, 2, 3. Doesn't look like it. No, they got nothing. Maybe they did some damage, though. Alright, we just spotted the other group, and oh man, they are really close to Carrier Group D and Carrier Group A, so we have got to get these guys moving. Let's give him another threat to worry about coming up from the south. I don't know that we're in range yet, but if we can get our planes headed that way, that would really be helpful right now. We've already taken out a lot of the fighters from this side, so maybe we turn our attention now on these guys. But in the meantime, I'm going to move these carriers toward the others. Okay, so here we go again. We've got 27 dive bombers, followed by another 15 dive bombers, followed by some smaller groups of dive bombers. We've got fighters coming over from Carrier Group E and Saratoga to help intercept all these fighters. I haven't seen any dive bombers, torpedo bombers, anything. No threats to my carriers right now. Alright, let's see what we do here. 17, 2, 2, 2, 3. Let's see if we get score some hits. Come on, boys. Alright, we got another battleship. Oh, I lost all of those planes, though. Oh, boy. That's not going well for us right now. Actually, very little happening at the moment, other than taking out 1 battleship. We're having a heck of a time with the carriers. Okay. That wasn't great. It wasn't great at all. So Ticonderoga and Randolph have basically lost all of their attack aircraft. Saratoga's only got a couple left. So it's really going to be up to these two now. We've still got plenty of fighters, but as far as being able to hit his carriers now, not much. We're going to have to turn these guys back around and see if we can do it with them. Alright, here we go. Let's hope we do something this time. I might have to just make sure I direct these guys toward the carriers, because they don't seem to be doing it on their own. These are just fighters going after the other carrier task force. Come on, guys. It's a bunch of planes not coming back. Darn it. Nothing. Having a really tough time. We're going to have to send everybody else back to get refit while these other carrier groups make their way up here to help out. Alright, thank goodness. We are in range. Carrier Group B has got 27 dive bombers headed toward this task force, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get around him right now. I don't want to go all the way back to Wake, but if that's what I need to do to draw him out, then maybe that's what we need to do. If I can draw him toward Wake, I can get my carriers refit, and then we can launch kind of a big assault from Wake at Iwo Jima and just send all my carriers there. Okay, let's see what they can do. We've got 15, 2, 2, 2, and 4. Let's see if they do anything at all to take these guys out. Did I lose all of those planes, really? And didn't take out a single thing? Wow. Alright, another 51 dive bombers going in. Did every one of them go down and we only have 1 carrier dead to show for it? Alright, so we're going to have to go back to manually ordering these, because there's no way I should have lost every single one of those ships, or of those planes. That was brutal for my plane. So let's go get them refit. We'll let him chase me back toward Wake, where we also have some more carriers inbound. Alright, so all my carrier groups had just arrived at Wake, and he finally sends out his dive bombers. And so we do have some fighters headed that direction. And we'll go ahead and let Wake Islands, actually it's our carrier group's fighters that are coming up into the air. So this is actually ideal. He's still pursuing me while I get all of my planes refit. And once we do, we're going to destroy this task force and then start moving toward the other one. I want to try and take Iwo Jima before too long if I can. And while all that's happening, we've got the Bunker Hill and the Lexington, along with the battleship Indiana and heavy cruiser Pittsburgh, all inbound to Wake. They'll be here before too long. And he has turned around, tucked tail, and trying to get out of here. So as soon as I see that these planes are ready to go, we'll go out in pursuit. Okay, down here near Truk Lagoon, we've got a smaller carrier task force. I think the force that I've got here ought to be able to handle that. What we've got here is 3 light cruisers, 2 heavy cruisers, 5 battleships, and 3 light carriers. I think they can do the job. Let's go ahead and send them in pursuit. That's Task Force 51. Now back to the major action here. We've still got the atomic bomb sitting here at Wake Island as well. Randolph, Ticonderoga, not quite ready to go. What about Enterprise? No. Franklin? No. If any of them are ready to go, I'll send them out. Saratoga? No. So it seems like they're all going to be kind of on the same time schedule here. Pillow of Autumn? No. You want to buy or no? So back down here to the action near Truk Lagoon. Our planes have been heavily involved already before we even get the battleships anywhere close. And it looks like they're already kind of doing the job. So those light carriers, they can hang. I mean, they can do their thing when they need to. You can see there, they're down to just 4 destroyers and 1 light cruiser. I don't think the battleships are even going to get in range to be able to do any action. All right, we've spotted some more things near Midway. That's just 3 destroyers, not a big deal. We do have Task Force 66 there in the area, so we can probably send their planes to go deal with them. All right, Carrier Group A is all set and they're in pursuit. Carrier Group E is ready to go, so let's get them going. That leaves D. Enterprise is ready to go. Franklin's ready to go. So I'm guessing probably everybody's ready. How about Saratoga? Yep. All right, in pursuit we go. Okay, here we go. I don't know what kind of planes he's got, but we're going to send out our dive bombers, and this time we're going to be very carefully meticulous about where we send them. We're going to go for the carriers, and hopefully we're going to get them this time. Okay, this is Jig Squadron, and we are going to go for the carriers. It looks like it's going to be nighttime when we get there, as often is the case. But I'm going to send them straight for one of these carriers. If I can at least get this squadron to take out 1 carrier, I'll feel like they did their job. I don't know what this other squadron was doing, but now I've lost sight of the carriers, at least temporarily. There we go. Alright, so let's go in. See, these aren't even damaged. That's just ridiculous. Although I haven't really fought this one as much. We're going to go for this Zuikaku right here. We're going to send all of them. And I don't know why all the other hell bombers are coming in or hell divers are coming in so low. And I've tried to tell them to go high and it won't let me do it. Definitely some major AI issues. There's the moon going up with this game. Alright, let's hope for something resembling a decent hit on this Zuikaku. Anything at all? Oh, no. Not a single hit, and we're going to lose a bunch of planes. This is so frustrating. Okay, so we've got a lot more planes coming in. We're just going to watch from here and hope something good happens. 15, 2, 2, 2, and 3. I can't believe 7 carriers worth of planes can't take these things out. Or take anything out at all, for that matter. I'm basically just watching planes disappear. They go into this fleet never to return. I got 4 destroyers up there. We'll take care of them. There's 4 more destroyers over here. It's just a black hole that sucks up my planes. No matter what I do, if I try to tell them where to go, they don't do it right. If I try to watch from the strategic view, they don't do it right. About the only thing I'm good at is shooting down fighters. That seems to go really well. Alright, so a lot of them did get back out of there, it looks like. They just didn't show it that way at the time. But I'm not hitting anything. Here's another big group going in from Saratoga. In Carrier Group D. So these little dots, I think, represent the ones that get out and make it back, and I just don't see them because they must not be on radar. Still nothing. Nothing taken out at all. Wow. Unreal. Down here around Tinian, we've got a total of 13 destroyers roaming about. We're going to deal with them fairly easily while we watch this debacle continue. Alright, we already took out 2 of the groups of destroyers. Now we're going to go after the last one. Those go down nicely. It's the big ones in these huge fleets that don't seem to. Alright, let's watch this next round of attacks. See what we can do this time. It's a lot of bombs coming in. I won't give any special orders. We'll just let them do their thing. Of course, their thing right now is basically worthless. Still nothing? Really? Anything at all? How many times can you send squadrons of planes at the same fleet and have 0 to show for it? That is absolutely unreal. Alright, I'm going to send Carrier Group B and C. See if they can help out. I know there's another carrier group up here somewhere where we did sink one of its carriers. I may just have to get in at really close range and start using my surface fleet to go after some of these guys. Although I gotta be careful, Carrier Group A doesn't get too close on its own. Yeah, we basically lost all of our planes again. Alright, over at Puget Sound we have another carrier task force ready to go, so we're going to send them out. They've got a little mix of everything. We'll send them to Midway. Here's what I've decided. I've decided that going after his carriers is really just kind of a fruitless exercise because, oh, we did sink another one. Because he's just going to spam a bunch more carriers. So really the only thing I can do that makes a difference, a lasting difference, is not to destroy carriers that can just be replaced. There, we got another one. So these planes are doing much better than the others. Let's view on the map what's happening here. Oh, we're going after some cargo ships. That's cool. What I really got to do is just take ground. So we're going to go ahead and send all these task forces down here to Tinian. We're going to get them all refit and ready to go, and we're just going to send like 12 carriers to take Iwo Jima. Alright, so the planes from that task force did their job and did it really well. Convoy Zebra's under attack from some destroyers. I don't think I have anything in the area to help with that. Just down here at Tarawa. I'm not sure. Well, we might be able to get some planes in the air to go deal with them. Alright, so we did take out all the carriers in that task force finally. But now let's go ahead and bring these carrier groups home. Because all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these carrier groups are going to be involved in the attack on Iwo Jima. Alright, we're going to upgrade Tinian to a major port. It's going to take 15 days. That took a lot of the war bonds that I had available, but I think that's going to be very helpful as this becomes our primary launching point for Iwo Jima and then Okinawa. And at that point, Tinian is actually the spot. That's the airfield that the atomic bomb was launched from. You can see Nagasaki here and Hiroshima. But I feel like I want to get a little closer and take Iwo, which we did take Iwo Jima before we sent the atomic bomb, and Okinawa for that matter. I believe Okinawa was the bloodiest battle of the Pacific in terms of casualties on the ground. Okay, 4 of our carrier groups are ready. We're just waiting on carrier group A. As soon as they're repaired, we're going to get them to rendezvous up here. And we're going to have 6 carrier task forces headed for Iwo Jima. If I can't take it, then I don't know what possibly could. Alright, they're ready. Let's do this. Alright, man, that is a lot of carriers going this way. Oh, hello! So here's a task force with no carriers. Now here's the thing, I don't want to waste all of my planes and have to go back. But I kind of have to deal with these guys, right? I mean, I can't just ignore them. But the way my planes have been performing, I don't know. But okay, let's get all planes. I mean, we technically don't need the planes to be able to take Iwo Jima. We just need to scout it and then get in there at them. Let me slow this down. So 15, 2, 2, and 2. Let's see what our planes can do. Or are they just going to fly into the black hole of oblivion? Oh, we got one of the battleships. We really need to take out all those destroyers and cruisers because that's what's shooting down my planes. And I'm getting awful close. Okay, the battleships are gone. So that's the main thing. Those are the main threats. And the heavy cruisers. But you can see how many planes I lost. Alright, we took out that fleet. But in the process, let's look. Hammond lost most of their bombers. John Basilone lost about half. Lexington and Hornet still have some. Randolph and Ticonderoga pretty much lost everything. Jeez. Enterprise lost them all. Franklin lost a good bit. So we're basically starting from scratch. So now I'm going to have to turn around, refit, do this again. Okay, here we go again. It's late August now, 1943. Task Force 51 just engaged an enemy near the Caroline Islands. What do we engage in here? Alright, so it looks like we're still doing some convoy raiding, so that's cool. That's a perfect use of that group with the battleships. What do we got coming our way? Destroyers, not a big deal. Take them out pretty easily. We'll just get some planes in the air. Finish them. I expect we're going to see at least one carrier group coming at us with all this. But let's swipe these destroyers out of the way. That's how it should always go. Achievement unlocked, shipwrecker, whatever that means. Alright, in Mare Island we've got 2 more carriers along with a couple of light cruisers that are ready to go. I think we're waiting on some destroyers there still, so we'll wait a little longer. San Diego, 2 more Lexingtons. I think that one's ready to go because we got some destroyers there. So let's go ahead and send them out. I've got so many carriers now, and I've got enough to order some more if I really wanted to. Alright, so we're getting toward late August here. So far, the only planes I've seen have... Oh, that's an Imperial Japanese Navy spotter. Okay, that means there is a carrier out here somewhere, because that wasn't from Iwo. Alright, we got a bunch of cargo ships here. That's a juicy target for these guys. Go get them. Okay, we spotted the fleet. It's 2 carriers. It's actually a small group. This is a little more my speed as far as not losing all my planes to take them out. Let's overwhelm these guys with massive amounts of firepower, but not from all of my carriers. I want to make sure that no matter what, I don't have to turn around again. So what do we got here? 5412. He doesn't have a ton of escorts, so I shouldn't be losing a lot of guys to anti-aircraft fire this time, in theory. Now what are we spotting? There's another 3 carriers. That's the force I saw earlier that I engaged. Alright, we took out the carrier. Come on, we still got 5 destroyers, 4 cruisers, and a battleship there. Alright, let's send everybody. Took out the battleship, so we got the capital ships. Now let's get the little ones. I've got a lot of war bonds. I probably should go spend those. I'm kind of waiting until I take Iwo, though, because I think I'd like to build that up. There we go. Alright, those are all taken out. Now we have to worry about the big enemy force up here that's still defending Iwo Jima. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to send 3 carrier groups planes to raid the port. The other 3 are going to go after the fleet. And I'm hoping we'll get a mix. I mean, this is a big fleet, so they've got a lot of anti-aircraft fire that they can put on me. So I'm hoping that while simultaneously raiding the port, we're also scouting the port. But you can see we're losing a lot of planes doing this. But it does look like we took out one of the carriers, which they're now coming at me. We haven't scouted the port at all, though. Alright, nicely done, boys. We took out all the carriers. Now, I don't know how many planes we've got left. But he's got the 1 battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers. But no carriers left. So we ought to be able to follow through on this. Let me pause and make sure everybody's job is now, well, at least with what we have left, to go after this fleet. Because this fleet's the last thing standing in the way of me taking Iwo Jima. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm pulling all of the carriers out of the task forces, and I'm going to kind of route them off to the side. The point being that I don't want them going into surface combat with these ships, but I do want the rest of my ships to do that. So we're pulling them off. We're going to send these carrier groups minus their carriers to go sink these ships. Alright, well, it looks like we wiped out his force, but we lost a bunch of ships in the process. I didn't really even realize that they were already in combat, but his entire defense is gone now. So now this is about taking the port. Okay, we have done our recon on Iwo Jima, and that leaves only to launch the amphibious assault with a bazillion carriers and all the other ships. And what we'll have to do is we'll have to figure out, I know I lost a bunch of ships there. I'll have to get the reports to see exactly what we lost, because it all happened so fast I didn't even realize I was in combat yet. Okay, so we're going in. This is our landing force going into Iwo Jima. We need 19 of them to get there successfully. I don't know why it's not letting me zoom in further to do this. There we go. Always got to watch from this way. It kind of looks like Iwo Jima, though the mountain, Mount Suribachi, should be at the very tip of the island on one end. I think on the left side here, if we're looking at it this way. But we'll take it. So we need 19 of these Higgins boats to get in there. And it looks like he's still got quite a bit of shore battery, so this may not happen in the first wave. I thought my raid earlier would have taken out more of his ships than they did. So let's see what gets in here. Alright, I think we're going to be able to do this. We've already gotten 6 of them in. Our big LSTs are getting close. They'll unload a bunch of these Higgins boats. I think we got it. Need 3, 2, 1. One more. Come on, one more. There it is. We have successfully occupied Iwo Jima. I'm going to wrap it up right there. We are that much closer to Japan. We've got 4,200 war bonds to spend. We're going to build this thing up, and we are going to get ready for Okinawa. That's coming up next. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. It was ugly, but we're moving the ball forward, and that's all that matters. Let's take a look and see. Here's the invasion of Iwo Jima. Carrier Group B recorded 8,717 fatalities. 17 friendly vessels were sunk. Now, Carrier Group B did not have carriers in it. I had pulled the carriers out from there. But we actually can take a look here and see. We lost the Nicholas, the Softly, the Chevalier, the O'Bannon. So it was a lot of smaller ships. The Juno, the Omaha, the Flint, the Reno, the Hutchins, the Hudson, the Fulham, the Vincennes. Oh, we lost the William C. Miller. R.I.P. to that one. The Brooklyn, the Canberra, the Tucson, the Higgins. So we did lose one. Oh, these are Higgins boats here. Okay. So we did lose one of our patron ships. Sorry about that. But we can see the other ones fared much better. Atlanta was heavily damaged but survived. We lost the DeVries, the McCall. That was down at the Caroline Islands. Okay. So there you have it. This was a cargo task force we lost. All right, now we'll wrap it up. I wanted to show that to you real quick. Thanks for watching, guys.